Welcome to my second video. This is the Coburg Cycling Club B grade race here in Melbourne. We're about 15 minutes in at this stage and it's a bit of a highlights reel. As you can see, Liam here is off again. This is actually his second attack of the day, and having been on his well, it's a really good time to quickly follow, so I do all I can to quickly get on there and make sure that we can go. He looked pretty strong in his first attack, so I thought this was a pretty good move to follow. Although it is still very early in the race, it was definitely worth a shot. But I was conscious that there's a couple of Knights of Suburbia riders back in the pack, and they had been setting a high tempo throughout this race, and we're going to keep on pushing, I was sure, as long as one of them wasn't in the break. This break did last a while, but I'm not going to take you through all sort of it was about 8 minutes or so we were off the front. So I've skipped ahead, and you can see now the pack is coming. It was pushed through by the Knights of Suburbia guys in the end, but it's Will currently on the front who's picking up the pace on this little uphill section. And now it's just a matter of slotting back in and getting ready for whatever counter might be launched, if one does indeed get launched. You can see the two Knights of Suburbia riders over on the left there. They've been doing a fabulous job making sure that the pack maintained a high pace and just pulling in the breakaways. So again, we've pushed on probably a lap or so, and again you can see I've managed to find myself on the right wheel. Will launches an attack at this point, but it was only a lap after Liam and I had done our big effort off the front, so I wasn't really in a good position to go with him. But we do see a couple of riders launch after, and of course the Knights of Suburbia rider here goes. And it's at that stage I think, well, if he does get into a break, that's when the pack won't be controlled, and I quickly jump to try and make sure that this gets closed down. Although I still don't have a huge amount in me, so I've flicked the elbow, hoping another rider will come past and take us the rest of the way. Unfortunately, this break does start to look very, very strong. As you can see, it's not being closed down. We are doing 40k, but that break is managing to establish itself. It's got about 4 riders in it at this point. And I've just tucked into the back here. And again, a few riders peeling off the front, not wanting to do too much to bring this break back. And it's Liam, I think, that's on the front there driving it again, and he's willing to give it a go. And then of course we've got this Knights of Suburbia rider who, when he comes to the front, is unlikely to push given it's his teammate just up the road. So you can see he comes to the front, and it is an uphill section, so he's going to start slow pedaling just a little bit, and it's at that stage I think, well, now's the time to get onto the back of this. If he's going to let it go, he's going to slow the pack down, and now it's really now or never to get onto the back of it. So you can see me launch up this hill. Obviously one rider there jumps and comes with me, and we've managed to get a little bit of a break on the pack. There is another one rider trailing behind, so we're definitely pushing the pace on this downhill. We're keen to get straight onto the back of this group, and this would make quite a good breakaway if we can get it to stick. There'll be the 3 up here, as you can see, including the one Knights of Suburbia rider. there you can hear us talking, making sure we all know who's in the group, that we're here, and that we're going to work together and really hopefully push this through. We are probably about 30 minutes, bit over, maybe 35 into the race now. So we've still got a bit of time to go. Well, it's not going to be easy going, but there's enough of us here that we really could make this work as long as we all do our part. See me swing off. Unfortunately, as my pace drops, you can see this guy in blue just come up the back. He gives me a nice tap on the back there, and pushes me through, gives me a bit of a boost. Completely uncalled for, but I can't tell you how grateful it was. I was struggling a little bit. I have just done the big break. I've then bridged across and done a turn on the front. I was hurting at that stage as the pack got back to us, so I'm very thankful for that little push. And then you can see he's quick to go again here. He's launched the counter. Again, really good move as it all comes back together. We're about 40 minutes into the race now, so we're coming up with about 10 minutes to go before they call the last 3 laps. And I've had a chat to Simon Kenny, who's just in front of me here, number 165. We both agree that this was a dangerous move. You can see him really ramp it up. He's doing close to 50k an hour now, and he's just decided he hasn't launched an explosive attack. This is one he's just trying to pull back, and he really does power it for a good 30-40 seconds at this high pace, still doing 47k an hour on the flat, and he really puts in a mighty effort to pull it all back and make sure that the pack is all back with it. And I think this was probably one of the most pivotal moments of the race. I think had Simon not made that big effort just then, I do think this break would have succeeded. Had some really strong riders in it, and as you can see, one of the riders who just got caught immediately decides he's going to go again. This is a great move because it means that none of the riders at the moment have much energy left. You can see us all looking around. No one's really wanting to chase him down, and so we do just let him roll away off the front now. There's a few people moving to the front, but we're only doing 33 now. So we weren't able to pull him back. I have skipped forward just a little bit. Again, you can see we're not really pushing it on this downhill section, and I think, well, now's the time to go. If I want to bridge back to this rider up the front, the pack's still not moving. I can get a bit of a run up on this downhill section and push forward. You can see I've taken, I think that's Will behind me in my slipstream, and at least one other rider, which if we manage to catch up to this one solo rider up the road will give us a really good lead and a break of 4, which leading into the last 10 minutes or so before the end of the race is going to be a really good move. So at this stage I just pull off. You can see Will coming through, and you've got Liam on his wheel there. So this is a really good break to be a part of as we jump on and manage to bridge across now. You can see just in the rearview mirror there's a few riders from the pack now really pushing as well, trying to make sure that we get up and to us. There's a call out to the guy that was out front to him by himself, just making sure that he was aware we were coming past. We want him as part of this breakaway, so that he can help. We're still out in front. We've skipped another 5 minutes forward or so. You can see the rider in yellow, and there's another rider behind him. 2 riders bridging across have come back from a long way from the rest of the pack. We'd actually been working really well as a group of 4 up till this point. So they've done a huge effort to catch us at, you can see, about 42, 43k an hour, and managed to get back onto the wheel to make a breakaway of 6. We've probably now got only 5 or so minutes left till the end of the race, and they call the last 3 laps. So again, we've got a good lead, and we managed to work through and roll turns quite well as a group for this last little bit. Although as we do near that last 3 laps, there is a lot of cat and mousing amongst this group, and we can start to see it break up a little bit, but for the moment it's working well. As you can see, we've still got Liam here with us, we've got Matt in Knights of Suburbia just in front of me, and a few other riders. So again, fast forward, we haven't been caught. We're leading into the last lap and a little bit now, so we've probably got a third of this second last lap left to go. You can see the rider in black has actually come off the front. We're now dropped down to 35. This is what I mean about the catting and mousing. No one's really willing to put in some big efforts. I've decided, well, if the guy's going to roll off the front, I'm not going to let him go, so I've put in a dig just to get up and onto his wheel again. That's brought the rest of the bunch back. But no one's too keen to do the big solo efforts as we head into the 1 lap to go. There are 6 of us. It's probably just 1 or 2 riders too big to be completely cohesive, unfortunately. And as you can see, as we catch the front rider again, we're dropping way back down below the 40km/h mark as we head into the final lap. And at this stage, we are looking around behind our shoulders. We can see the pack is closing in on us. So we're now really gambling of, do we want to work together, or are we going to sit in, save ourselves for the sprint, and let the pack catch us? You can see again, no one's, including myself, is really wanting to come through at this point. I've pulled off completely to the side. I'm having a look behind, thinking the pack's coming. I'm happy to sit at the back now and save my energy for a sprint if we get caught. But the rider in black at the front here does kind of takes it upon himself really to really push the pace and make sure that we stay out ahead. You can see the pack now coming around the corner. We've probably only got 4 seconds or so, but there is a huge acceleration on this downhill slope. You can just see very quickly we've moved up to 50 plus kilometers an hour, and the rider in black who's peeled off the front has actually dropped the wheel, and that's a massive thing to lose when you're doing 57k an hour. It's really hard to catch back on. And so unfortunately, he's had a brilliant ride, but I think that's the end of it for him. We are still pushing out now. The pack has dropped back a bit further. We've got now maybe 5-6 seconds on them. So we're coming into this second last corner. You can see us turn it. The rider in yellow and me are moving up on the inside. The pace is remaining high as we come into this final bend. We've probably got about 700 meters to go to the finish now. You can see the pace really ramping up. We're pushing into the high 40s, and the pack's nowhere in sight. It really is between the 5 riders now. I'm in 5th wheel. You can see the sprint begin in earnest. We've got about 300 meters at this stage. The yellow guy makes his move. I jump onto Matt's wheel. We're all in it, giving the big push for the finish line. You can see Liam's just overtaken on the left, and I've managed to come in just 3rd behind these 2 riders. So great effort by everyone, a good race, and a really hard day out. Thanks for watching.